Hey YouTube, who's on here? You know I gotta always ask because there be some trolls be popping up on here that need not to be. Hey YouTube, go ahead and say for the algorithm, say hi. I'm gonna start in a few minutes. I'm not gonna be on long. Just wanna come on and just talk about a few things and how my day went. Ooh, okay. Hey y'all, go ahead and say hey or hi so I can know who's in the chat. Y'all came on quick. I know some of y'all probably just watching in the background. So I'm not gonna do a 3 hour long stream on this stream today. So just wanna be quick. Hey your pleasure, 721. Hey Erica. All right, so let me start because some of y'all just have to catch the replay. So, today is Labor Day. Y'all came on quick. 5 of y'all. All right, give me the 5 thumbs up. As you enter the room, go ahead and hit the thumbs up. Much appreciated. So, didn't really do too much today. I did do one of my survey assignments. I went to Conyers to Lowe's to put up some of those caulk type of materials. It was real simple, real quick. And then, of course, when I was at the Lowe's in Conyers, they wanted me to look for these, these hats that people wear when they do yard work to protect themselves from the sun. I was supposed to look for that product. So, in one store, I made $27. It wasn't that long, just put up a couple of little things and took some pictures of whatever I was supposed to look for. So y'all hit quick. I wonder if I go on live stream on YouTube that it gets more notification because I've never had this many people jump on at one time so quickly. So go ahead and say who you are, to your Erica, your pleasure. Who's the other 5 people? I know Dorian and who else be lurking in the back? A couple of y'all be lurking. But anywho, so let me tell you what I did today. Part of my Amazon benefits, I signed up for the legal service, and you could, and it's like you could get a lot of different legal services, like a lawyer, and that's part of your plan. Like they could do estate planning, your wills, if you have real estate transactions, and other things. So if you ever work for a job and they offer like a legal service of some sort, and usually it's not that expensive. It's like usually um like $10, $13 a pay period or whatever, depending on how you get paid. But that's a great service to have when they offer legal plans and legal services. So I had signed up for that, and I said, you know what? Ain't no point in me signing up for benefits and never use it. So they have Prudential Legal. So I went online today, and I said, let me look at my health coverages and benefits that I have that I signed up for that's coming out of my check. So because I tell you, I'm waiting at the end of this week or sometime in the next few days about my short-term disability, or where they're gonna approve my medical accommodation. And then if they do approve it, then I already had got short-term disability to get paid 60% of my pay. But I'll find out. I'll let y'all know what happens with that. But So anyway, so part of the plan that I got was a legal service. So I clicked on it and I had did my will. Hey, Sharky felt. So I did a will. Now, I don't, now some of y'all know I don't have any children. I'm not married. So I had did it, it's not legal until I actually get it notarized and sign it. So I have it printed out and then I'm gonna go to the bank tomorrow to get it notarized and then have this filed somewhere where someone would know. It has part of this comes with a durable power of attorney and advanced healthcare derivatives, revocable living trust. So it was kind of scary, as I was filling it out. And let me tell y'all, one of y'all is left in my will, not that jackass, not him. So don't be thinking, oh, Teresa, she did crazy. So I did leave it to someone here that's been very loyal. And I'm not saying something's going to happen to me anytime soon, but I put this person in my will. And I'm gonna tell the person too, hey, Vicky. And it was a vehicle. So not the Toyota, I expect that Toyota to last that long, but it's gonna last. But the I did I don't know, for some reason I felt that vehicle gets paid off in full and I have it because I'm planning on keeping things for a long time, and since I don't have a whole lot of miles, I figured I'm keeping it in great condition, put it that way. So one of y'all is in my will, not money wise. Let me make sure because nope. Let me look. Nope. That's what it was. It was one of my property, Pacific property. But I figured if down the road it's paid off in full and I still got that asset, it is listed. But it was only that. I didn't lift a whole bunch of stuff. So basically it's like this house, if I haven't sold it, of course, my mother, my sisters, my niece and nephews, so I have it set up. But it was kind of scary. It was almost kind of scary of doing a will. And I know a lot of people like some people they think that if you do a will, oh, something's gonna happen. We all gonna leave this earth. That's a guarantee. That ain't no, it's not. It's about when, but we all gonna leave this earth one day. And one of the things people are afraid of, doing it because they thinking, oh, I don't want something to happen. We all gonna leave this earth one day. We all going to leave this earth one day, and that's something you want to plan, regardless. Because I remember when my aunt passed away a few years ago, and she had a house in South Carolina. She had a condo in Brooklyn, and money in the bank accounts and stuff. And she didn't leave no will. It was back. Matter of fact, it was 2011. Yeah, it was 2011. About a couple months before September 11th. And my grandmother went up to New York to watch her, and I remember that happened. Yep, we all have an expiration date. It was easy to do. But see, I had my health. Part of the benefits at Amazon and at a lot of companies, they offer legal service. So part of if you have if you work for a company, you know how you choose your health benefits, dental, vision. There's a legal option where do you want to sign up for legal service? It's just like $8, $7 a pay period or whatever. But the one that I used, and it's real simple and it's free, but you could actually get a legalzoom.com. You could actually go online and you could just, they'll do all the paperwork, generate, you just fill it in, your name, address, you answer some questions and they'll actually do one for you. And everything, you choose your state. So everything pertaining to your state, it will all be pertaining to your state. And then you just print it. And once you print it, you just go and get it. It's not, this ain't legal. This is not legal until it's notarized. So once I go and get this notarized, I sign them. A witness signs them, a second witness, and it's notarized. Then I file it somewhere. It gives you all these different instructions. But if you don't have a legal plan through your job, there are places you could probably look for and see if you do a will. You don't have to, I could choose a private attorney to get this done, but it was no need for me to do it because one, I just simply chose to answer some questions online, and you answer questions like, who do you want to be a beneficiary? Who do you want to be the power of attorney? Who do you want to be the executor? And you just fill out that information, and that was it. So I didn't have to go to a legal office or attorney to do it. I could choose that option, but there was also online that you could do it yourself, and then you could have it printed out and then just get it notarized. So I probably still will go to an attorney, one of the legal service, and then probably go to their office and get someone to notarize it and sign it as a witness and file it. And then they file it with the state. Whatever state you live in, they'll file it with the probate court. Not probate court. They'll file it with the state that you reside with. So one of the things you have to make sure when you have a will that you tell somebody about it, not just no one not know. So because the fact that it is a person that I put on here, no one knows about, I'm gonna I still have that vehicle. But if I have it, the person will get it down the road. But mine is a simple one because it has just, my mother, and then my mother passed, then it goes down to the next person. So it's really very it's just good to have, it's just good to have. And also, medical, like who has to, it says if I was to need medical care, do you want to keep me on life support, or who makes the decision? All of that is included because, like I said, everybody has an expiration date, and it was scary. It really was a scary thing. I'm just sitting here, just filling it out and doing it. And I was like, why am I thinking this? I've been thinking about this for quite some time. So this ain't something I just thought about in the last day or so, or just sitting here. Okay, let me do a will today. I've always said I was going to do one, but I don't want to be. You don't want people to be in situations where, when the person passed, everybody's fighting over who's gonna get what. Hey, DJ. So let me tell you, because like I said, when my aunt passed away, she had money in her bank account. She had properties, probably life insurance and all these things, even though I had two cousins. So it was passed down to both of them. And then I don't know how my youngest aunt and my youngest uncle, how they end up getting some certain pot of money in the account, but that was a mess. Let me tell you, going to the probate court, my aunt lived in New York, and the property was in South Carolina and New York, and that thing came. My mother was the executor, and having to go to the probate court to the state of South Carolina and New York, and it was a mess. It was a headache. it was such a headache, and she didn't have a will. And because certain states you live in, if you didn't have a will, it goes to the state and the probate, and it could be hung up in probate court for a long time. And it took a minute. It took a minute for that thing to go through the probate and stuff. So, you know, you never want to, everyone should have a will, regardless, whether you have something or not. People think, I ain't got nothing, you know, but you still have a life. You still have a life and a decision to be made, especially with this COVID going around. You know, it's like you want to make sure you have your wishes in order. You know, it ain't about, oh, ain't nobody got nothing. You know, it's about who has authority and how do you wish, you know, you know, live your life. You go into a hospital, you know, who has legal, who's gonna make that decision? You know, do you keep yourself on life support, or do you say, okay, if something happens to me, you know, I need this person to make the decision. So, and I may revise that a little bit because I think I do have some other things I need to include, because I said that it's my savings, my retirement plan. So I may have to reprint and add on to it before I finalize it. So, but that's all I wanted to talk about, was that part of the things that I did, and how it's important to have a will. Because I know there was one place I went to. Dang it, where was this at? I was in one of these supermarkets. They had this little legal service inside, and they said they do wills for free, but it was like real basic. Hey, Colas, it was like real basic. So this is mine would be considered something real basic, nothing extravagant, you know. So, but it was a little bit unnerving doing it. You know, you're sitting there typing because you have to. What did they think? You know, I'll be 53 years old, so it's like I lived almost half my life. If I unless I lived to be 106, I lived half my life. I'll have more. I live more of my life than I have remaining. You know, because once you get to a certain age, like say about in your 50s, typically black folks we don't eat. I mean, these days, I don't think anybody gonna live 106, 102, and 103. I'm not saying I won't. I mean, I don't know, but I have to be realistic. You know, when you have diabetes, high blood pressure, you know, my great grandmother, she lived to be 100. My grandmother, she's 93. She'll be. Wait a minute, what about we? Oh, okay, not yet. I thought her birthday passed. Her birthday's in September. So matter of fact, when we had a birthday party, not it was the first one. This is one of the things we made. This is my grandmother, y'all. See, y'all see that? When we had her birthday party, not the couple years ago, but this was back in 2006. See, look, this is my grandma. Hmm. You see her in her hat. This was, and she was what? Well, my grandmother back in 2006. I'll read it. I'll go back and do the math. So 14, let me see, 14, let me see, 14, 20, 15 years ago. So the very first birthday party was 15 years ago. And who is Michael K. Williams? I don't know who y'all talk. I know somebody passed away, but I didn't really look at that. You know what, Deja? I don't look at death as something sad. You know? Oh, many years ago. Yep, that's my grandmother. A little 5'2". She real short. That's what I was telling y'all about when I be coming home. She be in the yard raking leaves and stuff like that. She still does that. Even last year when I went to visit, she was outside raking the leaves and stuff like that, walk around the house. And she walks around that property. This is a big, this is a farm, so she walks with her cane, and she was what I was telling y'all about when I went to South Carolina. We went to the mall and we were walking all over the place. My grandmother, she still be walking. Even at 93, she be 93. Yep. She be getting on me about my diabetes, and she even offered to, oh yeah, okay, I read that. I saw that actor from The Wire. Well, they didn't say how he passed, so I don't know. I mean, what was he? He was like what, 40 something, 49, something like that. I read. So I don't know what happened. I hope it wasn't no drugs or nothing like that. See, when people say that so and so passed away, I knew it was something like that, 54, 49, something like that. I know he wasn't. I knew it was somewhere around that 49, 54, something. Well, they didn't say how he passed, so I don't know. I know a whole lot of people. I mean, not a whole lot, but there'd be a whole lot of people who passed away. Black folks who've been passed away. The actress and actors and stuff. And see, it's hard for me to really be saying it's sad because if you overdose on drugs and you were, he looked like he was on drugs. Even when you looked at him, you could tell he was like, either alcohol, drugs, and stuff. Just the way he looked. I mean, my father, he passed away because he was drunk himself with cirrhosis of the liver and stuff, and drank. But as much as me and my sister, especially my sister, crying and pleading for him to stop drinking and stuff, when you have a addiction or something bottled up inside of you, people do different things to mend or heal their soul or whatever they're going through, rather than, maybe going through counseling would have worked, whatever the situation was. I don't know what my father was going through. I mean, I could have an idea what it could have been, but God don't need our help when it comes to, it's time to go. God don't need your help. God don't need nobody's. God don't need our help. God don't need his help when it's time for us to go. Whenever that date that's written in the book, I don't know if some people may not believe or whatever, but there is a date that everybody have. You may not, we don't know what that date will be. We can't predict what's going to happen in the future, what's going to come to be or whatever. And I always believe that when certain, like how if how people, for instance, I'm going to give a little example. You know how things will happen in life, like why you get delayed, why you be stuck in traffic, why something may come up that you may not know about. And say, for instance, let's give an example. Say I wake up in the morning and something comes up and I get delayed by a matter of 20 minutes. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be late by going somewhere. And then you leave the house You drive down the road, and then you like, oh my goodness, if I had left the house 20 minutes early, if that didn't happen to me, 20 minutes of delay, that would have been me. You would have bypassed something that if you that God may hold you back for whatever reason, because something else is foreseen that you don't know about. And you may be saying, oh my God, I can't believe I was late 20 minutes. I can't believe that this person held me up. You may be held up for something that wasn't meant for you to be part of. A bad accident, a major wreck on 78 or Highway 20. I may go down Highway 78 and I may go into that same direction. And later on down you hear something on the radio. There was a fire explosion that happened on 78 and it's backed up, and it was a major catastrophe of cars lined up. And you may have left that house. If you had left your house whatever time, God may delay for something from you to happen. You never know. You never know. Sometimes, so I don't really get myself tangled up about time and why, ooh, I'm late, why this happened, because you never know. Things happen for a reason that you may never see happen. So it may not be your time for certain things to happen, and that's not going to be it. So that's how I look. That's how I look at things. That's exactly how I look at things. You can't never explain why some people get shot, why some people may take drugs, why some people may, overdose on whatever and die from overdose. Somebody may have been taking drugs and nothing never happened to them. But that one time that you may take that overdose, it may say, you know what, this is that's how it was supposed to end. Unfortunately, he probably been taking drugs, been addict years, whatever. And then it gets to a point where you get tired. You get tired, and God may say, you know what, just come on home. There's like Whitney, Prince, Michael Jackson, all these, Chad Boswick, Boseman, all these people, they gone through so much. But it gets to a point where I really believe that when you get to that point and you laying in your bed and you sitting back and see, when my father passed, we talked on the phone every day. He said number 1, 2, and 3. That's what he used to call us. I was number 1, my other sister was 2, and my other sister was 3. And I went up to New York to visit. I was the only one that went there to visit. And I sat there and we talked. And that early morning, when I got that call from my mother saying that he's gone, and I cried. But for some reason, I think when I looked at my phone, he was trying to call me. And for some reason, I didn't pick up the phone. I think I was asleep or something. But I kept that voicemail on my phone. It was kept for a long time, But as I was sitting there in bed that morning before my mother called, it's like I already kind of knew when he left. It's like years ago when my youngest sister passed. I had, it was my other sister. She's my half sister, but I don't say half sister. But I remember when my youngest sister passed, and years later, or a few years later, I was in the closet looking at. It was like her school bag and her coat, and I remember it was kept in the closet, and I remember this light just came through the window, and it seemed like it was her spirit that's right there. And even though we were like each of us was a year apart, I was the oldest, and she was 6 years old when she passed away. So I always kind of look back, and for this, I mean, this was years ago. This was a few years ago. I mean, years ago when I came across, the book bag and the coat, and I remember we were living in. I I was younger. I mean, I don't know. I wasn't like a young. It wasn't a couple years when she passed. It was a few years. I remember it was one particular year. One time when I went in the closet and you could see like a light of. You know how people say angels come to comfort, and people will come and you could feel like somebody's next to you, and that's I've had that feeling, and I know I'm crying, but I don't always look at when someone passes be sad. It may be sad because you're gonna miss. I know, Sharky, y'all being here is being comforting. So I always believe that we people will always come back. You will always see you will see that person again. So they may not be here in physical spirit. They may not be here physically with you, but they will always be in your heart. And I know that when my father passed, that he was there in heaven with my aunt, with my youngest sister and his son. I had a brother, y'all, but I never met him. He passed away 2 years after my youngest sister passed because my sister told me his name was Jamie, but he died in a fire in New York in the Bronx. So I think that incident affected my father, even though he never said nothing. He never said it. I'm quite sure that broke his heart and that caused him to probably drink and everything, because then my younger sister passed. So I think something to that nature probably affected my father in his heart being broken because of that. But he never said nothing. That's why always been protective. My father's always been protective with me, with me and my sister and stuff, about doing stuff, and I really believe that's what it was. I really believe my father being so overprotective was because of that. Yeah, yeah, I have memories, but because it happened so young, because it was so young, you don't want to. I don't. I always will remember. I will always remember. So, but anyway, I'm getting off a topic again. I'm supposed to talk about the importance of estate planning and wills. So I'll be filing this tomorrow once I make a couple other additions, and then get it notarized. And because you don't want no money, you don't want to leave your family members, people doing GoFundMe, and people having to struggle to come up with money to deal with situations. That's why this whole COVID thing, with people um talking dumb about they ain't want to do no vaccine, they ain't want to wear no mask, and you got young children, and you got a baby, and you got a wife, and people leaving their family members in um financial stress. It gets to the point where I get so tired of reading the thing on CNN and hearing on the news, and then it says, "Oh, this person they didn't see their newborn, and they didn't see their baby, and I was, and they telling everyone to make sure you get vaccinated because, I was like, how can you leave a wife? How can you leave a baby and leave children because of one simple shot that you don't even feel and leave them like that? I just couldn't. I just can't. I just can't. I can't. I don't understand it. I can understand last year when this thing came about and no one knew and they didn't had no vaccine and people were dying at the. My sister is a second grade teacher and she said she has 6 students up last Friday. She said she's wearing 2 masks tomorrow. Sure, I'll be wearing 3. 1, 2, 3. The cloth, the blue one, and the white one. I'll be. Matter of fact, I don't know why they don't build these little shields around teachers' desks. Like a little thing. They should do that. Build a shield and build everything around it and have it a plexiglass, right around the desk, or put a plexiglass right between each of the student desks, or separate the desks or something, you know. But it's just ridiculous, all for the greed of money, because that's what it is. Oops. All for money. People don't want to lose money. People, that's what it is. It ain't got nothing to do with health. All this back and forth, back and forth, back and forth about we don't want to close, we don't want no government shutdown. And then there's some people, they don't even have a business. They on YouTube. I don't want nothing to close down, and no reason, no reason. They just says I just don't want nothing to shut down. I don't want to stay in the house. Really? That's your reason? You don't want stuff to shut down. We ain't been really shut down. Y'all know we ain't been shut down. Last year when they had shut down, I mean, yeah, they shut down the gym, the beauty parlor. You couldn't go to the library or go, but other than that, you people were still driving around. If you want to go, go into the supermarket, go to Walmart. Only thing people really weren't going was church, which still most of them not open. Some of them are open, but not all of them. School, kids were staying from school, and gyms and maybe hair salons and stuff. But people were still going out and about. You had to wear a mask wherever you go, and when you went to Walmart or go to any place that was open, people were vigilantly cleaning. Vigilantly, that's what a person did all day. Your job, like my job at Amazon, was to stand up in front of that thing, whatever, and check everybody's temperature and hand out masks. And then and then when you go to Walmart and all the other places, they had a station. That's all that person did. They had a person up there clean all the carts, hand out masks, spray, wash down stuff. Now you go to these very same places that were so vigilant cleaning. Man, they barely got cleaning things in the thing to wipe down the cart. They barely, I mean, yeah, so I know Publix, they still have somebody out there. They starting to do it again, but um but within a couple of weeks ago, prior to that, you were walking in there with nobody there to clean nothing. There was no one guarding saying, "Oh, please wear a mask." They wasn't saying anything. They just really started saying it again. But the state, they wasn't going to make it a mandate. Make it a requirement. We ain't going to force people to school to do it. But then in the meantime, school teachers and people who work in school districts and driving a bus, they said in Miami, They said one bus driver a day was dying in Miami County or Miami Dade or whatever. Um, 7 drivers a week. Basically, it was a driver every day that had COVID was passed away from COVID. Oh, my ear. And they can't even find school drivers, school bus drivers everywhere, even Georgia. I was like, well, dang, it's 5 something. How come these kids they just got home from school? And I was like, dog, it's kind of late to be coming home from school. It'll be 4:30, 5 o'clock. And I see the school buses and people be getting off the school bus. And I was like, that's kind of late. And then one time I was going somewhere. It was 9:30, and I seen the kids right up there on Rockbridge Road. Up there, part of that would be Lilburn, waiting for the school bus. And I said, what? I said, they ain't in school yet. So, I don't know. So, people so quick to have kids go back to school. They go back to school. They miss their friends. Man, you go to school to learn. If you have friends and stuff, to do things with, and they live all in the neighborhood, shoot, let them, after when school's over, then they could go and play. Kids don't even go outside to play no more. I ain't had no, I ain't had to worry about, oh, I ain't got no friends. We had to go to, When I was in elementary school, our next door neighbor, my friend, her name was Shirlene, and when we went out to the weekend, we went to the movies. Either my father would take us to the movies, or her father would take us to the movies, or if I had cousins, and I would walk, or whatever, take the bus, and we go to the movie. It wasn't like or you went outside to play and things like that. People act like, see, kids now, they just sit up there at home, play video games all day long, be in front of computers and tablet and everything, and don't even enjoy the comfort of playing and being friends with neighbors, or children in the neighborhood. You ain't got a people. Somebody they miss their friends. I was like, as I recalled, friends were the ones that lived in your neighborhood. And then even though things change now, they got so many things. Laptop, everybody got a phone. If they want to miss their friends, they could be right up there and do Skype or Zoom and be talking to their friends. But I understand the comfort of being there and seeing people face to face and stuff. But I don't know. I just don't understand. I just understand all this politicizing about we're not gonna put no rules and implement in place about masks. I mean, mask, that's the least of problems. That's the least of problems. If you ain't gonna vaccinate, and I know I've talked about this on every single video, I keep saying the same thing, and I know, that I can't put that in a title on YouTube, or I'm not monetized anyway. I don't understand it. It ain't no, if it was the flu going around, because the flu could kill you too. The flu, if you get sick and you catch the flu, or even strep throat is contagious. So you wouldn't go to school with strep throat, and you wouldn't go to school if you had the flu, influenza. If you want to really know what it is, influenza or the flu, you couldn't go to school or go to work if you got the flu. You had to stay home, drink some fluids, and know the flu and that COVID is not the same thing. Ooh, my hair is so dry. I keep saying I'm supposed to deep condition my hair today. Ooh, see why my hair is just growing out, y'all? It's growing out like weeds. It's growing out real big. I'm trying to let my hair grow out. Then I'm gonna go to the hair salon in Dominican and let them press this out. I'm still trying to let it grow. Keep letting it grow a little bit longer. Right now, it's in that ugly stage. I'm not trying to keep it short no more. I'm trying to let it grow right on out. So I don't know. But Erica, shoot, go ahead and wear 10 masks on your face. And every time she goes, bathroom or whatever, I'll sit there and put me a brand new mask on and put a new one on. So make sure you text your sister, tell her to keep multiple masks. If you go from the bathroom or whatever, I would change out. Don't wear the same mask because you don't never know. I'll put me a brand new one, be like, oops, and change it out. Oh, because the way I see people walking around here, they just walking around like ain't nothing. And trust me, I don't really be out and about like that. I mean, yeah, I do. I go do my survey assignments and things like that. But in terms of just like being all in front of a bunch of people any length of time, mm-mm. And I don't know what's going to happen in the coming months. But anyway, let's talk about the job market, the job numbers. So, every beginning of the month, they always go back on the previous month about the job market. So, it was kind of depressing because they said that it was only 275,000 new jobs, and they wasn't expecting that number to be so low. So they still had millions of jobs. They said, when it was counted, but they said they only had created only 275,000 new jobs or something like that. And um, they still had a lot of people that's out of work, and unemployment has ended. So anybody who was all the unemployment under that COVID and the extra money for unemployment, that's ended. So you're not getting just the extra 300 plus the state unemployment that ended today or a couple of days ago, and now if your unemployment ended, it's best that you be out there getting whatever job that's available, because the way it seems that a lot of places, restaurants in particular, social kind of in social no entertainment and things of those type of jobs, social jobs. What I mean, hotels and restaurants and stuff like that. So many of these places they can't find anyone to work, that a lot of the places are closing. And then in terms of like places giving 40 hours a week, they cutting hours. I tell y'all, when I worked at Amazon, I don't work 40 hours a week. I only work 36 hours. And then when I worked at Maximus, it was cut down from 40 hours to 32. So um, even though unemployment is low, the creation of new jobs was not there, has not been there, hasn't been there. So unfortunately, when they say, "Oh, not hiring," and all that kind of stuff, I think it's coming to bite people, and I think that the fact that a lot of these companies were getting the PPP, payroll protection, and all that money they was getting to try to stay afloat, and they still couldn't really get anyone. They just didn't survive. They couldn't survive, and they closed down. So there is no more money. There ain't gonna be no another stimulus. I know a lot of people ask me, "You think it'll be another stimulus?" Nope. The only stimulus that I mentioned was the states that was giving that money out, that was remaining, that had to be paid out by 2014. Like that special stimulus I was telling you, Georgia, for teachers. If you was a teacher in Georgia, you're gonna get an extra $1,000. If you part time, it's $500. So Erica, so your sister, she may get an extra $1,000 that's gonna be paid out to her. I don't know the details of how they're gonna pay it or whatever, but um, it probably pay the payroll when you work. When she works, she'll get it. But I don't know when it's gonna happen. I don't know when they're gonna give it out. So don't ask me when, because I'm not a teacher, so I didn't look that deep in it. I just knew that the state of Georgia had a stimulus for teachers, and that was for Georgia. Other states, it may be different, but it's not a fourth stimulus. It's just simply a carryover from the federal stimulus that was given to the states, and then the states choose to give that money in a different sort of way how they're going to give it out. So, but other than that, there ain't gonna be nothing extra. There ain't gonna be no stimulus. It may come up some extra money for the state, like I mentioned, when you file your taxes next year. They may give a little bit extra, but um, a lot of those things are going to be paid to handle different things they need to take care of. So I think basically this country, in regards to stimulus and how they're going to keep afloat, nobody's not going to pull the trigger and say we're going to close down to curb this new Delta variant or whatever. Nobody wants to say we're going to close down. But in Australia, they was closed down about, it's been what, a month now? Maybe a few, maybe not even a month, maybe a few, 3 weeks or something. They closed Australia. And the reason why I know that was because somebody was in another person's chat and they was from Australia, and they said that they were being cooped up. They only allow one person out the house, and you can only go 2 mile radius at a time. And they shut down Australia, so nobody from other countries could come into Australia, and nobody can leave out of Australia. So they shut that down. They shut it down. Bump what the people think. Bump what the people think. If they may complain, and they was complaining on that person's chat about, oh, we so tired of being at home. But what you gonna do? The government says in Australia, only one person could be out the house at one time, and you can only go for so many 2 miles. And they gave, I think it was 2 miles or 2 hours. It was something like that. I think they let people out the house. One person at a time could come leave the house, and that was just to take care of essentials, buying groceries, food, and coming back home, and that's it. Because there ain't no reason to be out. You could buy food and come on back home. And Australia had a lockdown. European Union voted, or they are voting probably the next coming days, that I don't know if it's passed yet, but I'm quite sure it will. They said that they're not allowing nobody from the United States to go into any country. So you can't go to no international travel. You can't go to Paris. You can't go to Spain. You can't go to Portugal. You can't go to Germany. You cannot go any of those European Union countries if they passed that. I think they passed it, but I need to follow up and see. But they was voting about letting anyone come from the United States into those countries. They said they doing a lockdown. China already had a lockdown, and that's why these ports of goods are not being shipped out. So, although the other countries around the world are shutting down and not allowing, they trying to do their best to get this COVID thing under control. So here in the United States, they say we ain't doing no shutdown. We ain't shutting down. You ain't got to shut down. Because I know one thing, I can't go nowhere internationally, at least certain places yet. And as the months go by, watch. And then you know. And then some states they not gonna do no mandate. We're gonna New York. You go to New York now, you're required. You cannot go to no restaurant or no gym unless you were fully vaccinated. You can't go if you ain't got that card showing you fully vaccinated. And even if you are vaccinated, you still have to wear a mask and in any place you go in New York. It ain't no ifs, and buts about it. No ands, no ifs, no buts. So all these businesses and stuff, you ain't gotta wait for the state. The state of Georgia ain't gotta put no mandate. The governor ain't gotta put no mandate about that. But they saying you can't put a city mandate on allowing people not to go to shut down or whatever the case may be. All that reasoning is because of money. That's all that is. And then they got they got these people on CNN yelling, screaming, and arguing about Biden. I said Biden became, in office January the 15th or the 18th, whatever day that was. This thing happened way before then. And they getting mad. I said, y'all getting mad on that? I said, you couldn't hire nobody, and you can't get nobody to come in the restaurant, and you can't get employees, and that's Biden's fault. What? I said, man, you better have 10 seats and sit down. And then this black guy, he's on Fox News. He was like, well, that's the president. I was like, nigga, if you don't shut up and sit down with that stupid comment. They get on Fox News and they just follow the narrative just because Fox believes that. Fox News follows that narrative. I mean, I know they've been a conservative about things, but no, they just gotten stupid. And anybody who reports on Fox News, they just regurgitating whatever Fox tell them to say. It's a shame. I can't even hire nobody to do work and this and that or whatever. I said, it sounds like you just being greedy. That's what it sounds like. I wrote a little comment in the comment section on the YouTube for Fox News. I said, you sound like you were just being greedy. You talk about you can't spread the wealth. You ain't been spreading no wealth. Because if you had workers working in your restaurant and you ain't been paying them, but below minimum wage, that ain't nobody's fault but you. You the one. I said, shoot, people just need to quit. All these restaurants and some businesses, they got that money. They got all that PPP grant and got all that money, and then you still get to write off all the losses that occurred when taxes come next year. So when tax comes next year and they try and change the tax code next year, watch. We're going to be paying a whole lot of higher taxes, and it's going to be the middle person. It's going to be the middle people in the middle. If you ain't got no money, you poor, you're going to get a tax break. If you're rich and you worth millions, you're going to get a tax break. But those in the middle are the ones who are going to have to pay. So when I hear people talking about, oh, cancel rent, y'all crazy. If you poor and you got, you live a certain life, you get Section 8 vouching, housing, you get a whole bunch of benefits. You got kids, you got pre-K, this, whatever, you get, all these kind of benefits if you poor. If you rich, you get tax breaks too. You in the middle, you the one's gonna be flipping the bill. See, everybody like to say about the rich ain't paying no taxes, but what about the ones who's sitting on their butt that's getting all these kind of social services? They ain't working, and it ain't because they can't either. You can't possibly tell me, So I'm gonna tell y'all right now, when next year come, when taxes come, don't be shocked when you be like, well, god dang, my refund's only this, or why I owe, because I assure you, they're gonna be increasing that. They're gonna be taxing all across the board. So all this free money and or whatever, I know people say, well, you got the grant, but I can assure you, the amount of taxes that I pay, that's just a drop. That's just a drop in the bucket. That ain't nothing. So just to say this last thing, and that's it, because I'm going to bed. So all the PPP loans, all the um, grants and unemployment care, extra, all those supplements, extra money, and whatever is ended. All of it's ended. No more rent moratorium, that's ended. No more PPP grants, that's gone. No more grants, that's been paid out and given, that's ended. No more shutter programs, which is if you was in restaurants, grants, anything dealing with all this money they've been giving out from a year and a half ago is expired. It has ended and is no more. So if you didn't apply, and you didn't get it, and you applied, and you still waiting for an outcome, you'll wait. But pretty much the gravy train has ended. The gravy train has ended, is no more. So now we got September, October, November, December, 4 months. Can you believe 4 more months it'd be the end of the year? 4 more months, it'll be the end of the year. And after that, these 4 months, we just have to hang in there tight. We just have to do what we need to do, buy extra canned goods, buy extra food, groceries, stock up, and watch your budget. Watch your budget, watch your spending, and there ain't gonna be no, people, I ain't got Christmas. I know Christmas is 4 months down the road, but all that shopping, that what you call it? What you call it? Black Friday. Ain't gonna be no Black Friday sales. Ain't gonna be, ain't gonna be no, oh, they got the new PlayStation, whatever. That's coming, all that people waiting in line for $600, $700. If it was $600 for the gaming system last year, I think it was $600 for whatever PlayStation or whatever came. I don't think I heard anything about some new gaming system coming out. Because all that stuff is made in China. And all those computer chips and all that stuff, they ain't gonna, the supply chain of those stuff, thinking it's coming out, and it ain't. Just like the iPhone's supposed to come out, I asked them the other day, I said, when that new iPhone, whatever's supposed to come out, it's supposed to come out like October. And I ain't heard nothing about the new iPhone, whatever. I may just have to keep my phone that I got and just keep it until whenever. But in terms of buying anything, well, I got this bump. It seems like I have a bump right here. Oh. So I don't know. All I know is if you want to buy Christmas gifts for Christmas for children, you better buy them now. And buy something and wrap it up and keep it in the attic. But if you think you're going to wait till November to start Christmas shopping, or think you're going to get something for Christmas, I already saw when I was going to Walmart, when I was going to do my assignments, I would look through Walmart, the toy section and stuff. It don't even look full. I mean, I haven't even paid attention to it. It just don't seem. I walk by the bikes and stuff. I said, damn, it looked kind of empty. It wasn't a whole lot of stuff. It wasn't a whole lot of bikes I seen. I mean, I saw some bicycles, but, it was a little bit kind of barren, and I'm not saying barren like, oh my God, where's all the bicycles, but it didn't seem like it was before. When you go to the toy section, you used to see a bunch. It didn't seem like a whole bunch of things. It just and it's just what it is. It's just what it is. All right, I've been on here for an hour and 5 minutes. It's 12:32. I need to get my phone. It's in the car. I need to charge it. But thank y'all for being with me tonight. I know I was a little emotional earlier, just thinking. Sometimes I think about it. It makes me kind of cry. But anyways, ain't nobody else on here. Ain't nobody say nothing after this. Y'all just laying back listening. I know Erica, you probably sleeping because y'all be in the bed looking at big TV, falling asleep. Sharky felt. I appreciate it. DJ. Yes, you are, Erica. You be sleeping. You be right up in there sleeping. You ain't the only one. Shelly Shell. Y'all be all in the bed. David, y'all be all in the bed sleeping. What? You off tomorrow? I would say we go to the movies tomorrow, but I got a bunch of stores I need to do tomorrow. I got I think I got about 10 or 12 stores I got to do tomorrow. I should have done some today, but I only went to do Lowe's and that one store, and that was it. I know why I didn't do some because I started so late. I left the house about after 6 o'clock, and I said, let me go to Conyers and go to this Lowe's, so that way it'll be one less place I need to go because most of the places I'm going to tomorrow is up on Highway 124. A lot of them, and two of the assignments is in one store, so a lot of them is in the area. Only time I have to go outside the area is when I have to go to McDonough and what's the other one? McDonough and Henry County. But I could take the back way. I could go to Henry County, McDonough by just going past Stonecrest Mall and take that back road. It'll take me straight there. That's how close when you go to Henry County is going that. If you go to that back way, I could be in McDonough and Henry County, just going that back street. So, other than that, that's the only one that's out of the beat the path of me having to go. Every place else is pretty much Lilburn and Snellville. So, well, there's a bunch of them in your area. I don't know why you don't be doing them, Erica, but that's all right. That's okay. I'll do them. Nobody wants to do them. I keep trying to tell y'all. You know how much money I made this week? I'm on that's pending, put it that way. I'm almost at $1,000, and that's 2 weeks. So, and can you imagine if I was doing? Yeah, you could do it. Just see what you could do. See what they have available. But like I said, I'm gonna do a video once I know how to share my screen on the app and show it and how to strategize. But I always say make a goal. I always make a goal. My goal is if I say um like $20 a day, and you just say I'm just gonna do about two stores in that, and they say it pays $8 and you do $16 a day. And you just let it accumulate. If you in Walmart, I'm in, a Kroger or Publix. I don't do those convenience stores like they want you to go to the Texaco and check the cigarettes and stuff. I don't do that because even though they have a whole bunch of them, those people be so aggravating. You be like, I'm here to check the cigarettes, and you gotta take pictures. They get all nervous about you being there doing something that I said I leave those type of assignments alone. I don't do those. But other than that, if it says go to Sprouts to check this, whatever, I go to Sprouts. You ain't got to really talk to no manager. You know, if it asks you for a manager's name, man, yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do a how-to video because I've been talking about this a lot. So I'm gonna do a how-to video, not just for the survey, but also Observer, Field Agent. There's another company too that I work with, The Source. They keep asking me to do the HP ink at the Walmart and Office Depot, but the last time I did one, they was like, "You didn't catch a picture of this," and I said, I'm tired of going back to trying to figure this, whatever y'all want me to do with that. And they've been bugging me, but it's a lot of companies out there that you could do those little assignments. But I've done pretty good. Some of them pay, when they say special offer, some of them pay travel bonus. So you're not really getting paid $10. They really paying you an extra 10 or $5 or more just because of travel bonus. So I'm gonna do a how-to video because I just have to figure out how to do the thing on the phone because some people make videos on the phone when they do video, not live stream, but I can't figure it out. Some people say if they have an iPhone and they be taking videos and they edit it on the phone, and I was like, well, how you do that? So I haven't figured that out yet. But it's an extra way of making extra money because once I went to go to Lowe's, they said, oh, we have an assignment that's in the area and it'll be at the same store doing something different. No, I didn't join Sam's Club yet. I was trying to look for a coupon to get a discount on that $45 Sam's Club membership. And I think I found one that you get a gift card for $45 if you sign up online. So I haven't signed up for Sam's Club yet. I just want to go to Sam's Club, not so much to buy groceries, but really to buy the meats that's in bulk, the big bulk, so I could put some in the freezer and have some extra to save. Not buying, and maybe like household staples, like toilet paper and paper towels, stuff like that. But I do see some stuff at Sam's Club that it was a pretty good price that I've seen. And like you could buy, like they be selling like desks and office little things. And I said, man, this is a good price. I try to ask my sister if she could let me join on and a family member for Sam's Club, but I said I ain't got time to deal with her. So Erica, when you go to Sam's Club, what do you normally buy with your Sam's Club membership? Because I'm trying to determine, is it really worth it shopping at Sam's Club? I mean, I know I see people, I'm not going to buy a big bag of chips. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to buy a big thing of cookies. I'm trying to buy, You really think so? I mean, I know you said those grapes were nice. It tasted pretty good when you bought at Sam's Club, but I don't know. Sometimes I'd be thinking fruits and particularly fruits be a hit or miss because I don't see how the price is so better. I don't know. I can't see myself buying fruit at Sam's Club because I barely like to buy groceries from Walmart. I don't buy groceries at Walmart. At least in years, I haven't gone grocery shopping at Walmart. But I do see. I don't know. I don't see how the fruits are anything different than Kroger's. At least Kroger say that they keep their stuff fresh. And Publix and Aldi's and the Cab Farmers Market. Even when I went to Dam Nam to do an assignment with them, I seen a lot of fruits and stuff. But I don't see how Sam's Club would be something I would want to buy, because you're supposed to buy fruits and stuff from gas, bread, eggs, meat, cheese, chips. Yeah, but okay, I can see meat because you could freeze up meat and chips. Gas, I don't know about the gas because I need to make sure that gas don't be clunky or whatever. You could buy a lot of eggs from Kroger. I've seen Kroger sell eggs like 24 or 18. Hey Romeo. Now Aldi's don't have bulk stuff. That's the only thing about Aldi's I would have to say. They don't sell big, bulky stuff. It's just. Coles, why you got a tear coming at your eye? Oh. Well, I've been on here for an hour and 17 minutes, so I ain't trying to stay on too long. Hmm. He leaves at 3 a.m. Well, I ain't trying to stay beyond that. I've been on here because I already took my medicine, so I know after a while I'm going to feel real sleepy. Then I have to lay down. I don't know. I'm gonna have to figure out what I'm gonna buy at Sam's Club. I mean, I know I want to buy. I know I'm gonna buy the meats because they have all these pork chops. It was a good big thing of pork chops and meats that was pretty good price. Chicken, well, you can find more chicken, but yeah, I'm gonna buy both. Mostly, I'm gonna buy with my when I get that Sam's membership is meats. Um, Maybe like the big cans of vegetables or the big bags of frozen vegetables if they have them like big bulk whatever. I'll get something like that. But now if they had a certain kind of potato chips that I like, is certain ones that I'm trying to look for. It's called Mrs. Vicky's chips. Now I know I thought I saw that at Sam's Club. I like that because you don't see that too often. I mean, I had a BJ's club membership one time, and so it was between BJ's or Sam's Club, but I'm probably just go with Sam's Club because they had they sell like office stuff that they sell that I was like, oh, they had this they got this for this price, so it was pretty good in price rather than me going to Amazon and getting stuff all the time. All right, hold on, I'll be back. Let me get me something to drink. Let me get me some water so I could feel like I feel like I haven't drank enough water today. I know I didn't drink enough water. I didn't know why I said I need to drink some more. I need to drink some water. I'll be back. All right, I'm back. Whew. This is water. What? He nosy. I tell you, I went down to get some water. No. I'm just out of shape. Well, I went to the car because I thought my phone was in the car, but it wasn't. It was on the table. Yeah. I keep forgetting to bring that big old water thing and fill it up for my water dispenser. Erica, you know I still ain't took that thing out that box. And then when I go out and about, and then I'll be at the hmm, well, see, I keep telling people, everybody want to move out of New York after that storm. That's really gonna um. I think that's the last draw with a lot of people living in New York. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think that was. I think when people suffered through that storm with those basements, especially if you live in the basement, if it didn't flood someone's basement, it destroyed the boiler. Anything in the ground. Those basements, I don't care where you were at, all of them overflooded. Oh, you said now he wants to work? Well, I don't know. It's gonna be hard to find some place to live. You move from New York and you try to move to somewhere else. Just tell him don't move to Georgia. Don't come in. I mean, Atlanta is full, closed. So don't tell him. Oh, if he think about how to move to Atlanta, you better tell him not. You better tell him no. Atlanta is way too expensive. There ain't no. You ain't gonna find no job. You ain't gonna. If you gonna find a job at in Atlanta or even anywhere particular, he better go at Amazon.com. You'll find a job. They ain't gonna take no. If they got an opening in Amazon and you see Orlando, Miami, whatever, Fort Lauderdale, Tampa, boom, you better click on that and be prepared to choose a date and be prepared to take a drug test or a swab and you'll get a job. That's how much you ain't gotta go no interview. You go find a job. If you coming from somewhere else and you ain't got no job, go to Amazon.com as long as they hiring. Now they may not always be hiring because sometimes they close those things up and then you gotta wait and see when openings come up. But they don't always have openings. They take people, you work them for 3 months, 4 months, then your feet start hurting, and you start walking with a limp and everything else. They'll work you and they'll just recycle, move on to the next person, group of people. Yeah, because they be working people and recycle them out. See, they try to see at first they'll lure you in about the bonus, which I still didn't get. I'm still waiting on that damn $500 because I was there for 30 days for the first 500. The fulfillment center. Yep, that's the last stage where the packages go, and trust me, it's better than being the assortment center where you gotta take, you gotta work on the docks and I don't know. That's why I said that if I resign, all they're gonna do is all I gotta do is go in there again and say, okay, I'm gonna work a record this one, and they'll hire you right on back. You're nothing but a number at Amazon. You ain't nothing but a number. You ain't, I don't know about that. I heard that, but I don't know. That's probably true. Well, when you work at the trucks, you don't work for Amazon. You work for a independent person who has Amazon trucks. You don't work for Amazon. You're not an employee of Amazon. You're an employee of the company that has contracts to deliver for Amazon. So that's wholly different. You could buy stocks with Amazon, but if you're driving those trucks and stuff, you're not an employee of Amazon. You're a contractor for a company that is contracted to work with Amazon, and they get a share of profits and stuff. You know, they make their money by. It's just like one big Uber delivery driver who works for a big company, and you just, only difference is you have the trucks, you finance the trucks, you pay for the trucks, you do the training for the employees, you pay the employees. Ain't no point coming over to Atlanta. You have to tell him to keep on going, keep on driving, and that's it. He got another 10 hours to drive once he leave Atlanta to go to Orlando. Ain't no point coming to no Atlanta. I'll tell you that now. If I lived in New York now and I was talking about moving to the South, I wouldn't have moved to Atlanta. I would not choose Atlanta. I would move right on to South Carolina where I have family from. Yep, Atlanta is closed. No more. Everybody want to move to Atlanta. And said, nope. And you know what? A lot of people, when they talk about moving, you know where they moving to? A lot of people are moving Arizona. A lot of people is packing up, moving to Arizona. No, Houston, nope. Not because it's crowded. It's just that I don't like Houston. It's way too hot. It's way too. It ain't. Nah, nope. Dallas. I'm not sure about Dallas, but Austin was the place to move. But you got to have some skill sets. It's not about the weather. The weather. Anything could happen with the weather. I don't know about that. I don't live in San Antonio or Austin. I know I was supposed to move to Austin when I was working at the IRS when they first asked me if when I first applied, and I was supposed to move to Austin back in 2006 when I first started working at the IRS, but I turned it down because I was like, no, I want to move too far from my family. Ain't nobody come and visit me anyway in Atlanta, so I should have moved to Austin back in 2006. It wasn't even popular to move to Austin at the time. I mean, they always had technology and things like that going on, but Austin became expensive, just like Atlanta became expensive in terms of having to having a place to live and affordability and living in the city of Austin, if you didn't get into like technology, like if I was a software engineer and I was in that technology and I had, start studying now so I could, spend the next 12 years of my life, God willing, into that industry, and I was going to move to Texas or Austin, yeah, I would do it if I knew I had a career, because some of those technology companies moved out of California, moving to Austin, Dallas. I want to say Dallas, but I know Austin for sure. Dallas. They already moved. They're already there. All those tax breaks and stuff they got. But a lot of places move different parts of the country. Not just to Austin, Texas, but it's expensive. I'd rather live in a smaller city where I could be on the verge of retiring than to live in a big city. Well, it's a hot spot now, but you can't look at it what's going on now. You got to think about what's going to happen in the future. Oh, everybody moving to Arizona. That's the next. A lot of people, black folks, they moving straight on to Arizona. My cousin moved to Arizona, but he and his wife, they were like scientists or something, and they live in what, Gilbert? I want to say Gilbert, Arizona. People moving to Arizona because it's very inexpensive to live. It's not as expensive. That's why they moving to Arizona. It's spacious. I don't know where I don't know how close he is from Phoenix. I'm supposed to be going out there to Tucson to visit my friend Max. She lived in Snellville, and she bought this big, huge ranch compound that she turned into a bed and breakfast or something. It has like 15, 16, 20 units or something. She bought some property out there and ran her own business. Sold that condominiums and stuff in Buckhead, no, Atlantic Station, and sold her house in Snellville and sold those properties and moved on out to that big compound. I'm gonna have to get the website one day and pull it up and show y'all. But I'm supposed to be going to visit her. I'm supposed to have been gone out there to visit. So, with all this air flights going on and the weather and stuff, I kind of held it off. But I'm gonna talk to her this week and make a plan to go and visit her this fall before I go back to full-fledged working again. When it's time for me to go back to work, I want to go somewhere before the possible shutdown, if there's going to be one. But I have a feeling it's going to happen. I have a big feeling it's going to happen. Yeah, I'm gonna go out there. I gotta make plans, and because I got my vouchers for Southwest, and while I still got that, I can't make no excuse. I ain't got no money for the plane tickets. I got $500 plane voucher to use. Well, I'm vaccinated, so I could travel, but I'm gonna wait until I'm gonna wait and see. But I don't want it to shut down and then I can't go nowhere, and then I have a voucher that's wasted because I have to use it 1 year from July before it expires. So I don't care if I just go somewhere for a couple of days and just use part of it. I'm not gonna let Southwest keep it all. Well, the shutdown was in the beginning of the when it first came about back in March. And then the lockdown They open everything up about July. Oh, you saw that small video I made when I was out and about? Yep. So it's worse in other areas than I've seen in terms of shelves and stuff on the shelf. But the one thing I noticed that's all in common about not having enough is chicken. Anything dealing with chicken wings, um, beef, I don't, even ground turkey and stuff, I don't see a whole lot of that. Yeah, those pork chops were big. That's why I said I'm gonna have to get me a Sam's Club membership so I could buy me that big pack of pork chops because I ain't gonna eat all that at anytime soon. But they looked pretty good. I was like, ooh, and the price wasn't that bad compared to the price I saw at the Sam's Club for the pork chops. And even like 12, $13, 14. That's not bad for that big pack of pork chops they had. You saw how thick it was? And depending on the cut of meat you get, it wasn't as expensive, depending what you get. But the chicken was pretty good price. If you get whole chicken, it was like less than $1 a pound. A lot of people don't really try to eat pork chop. People, I ain't eat pork. I understand black folk be so particular about, I don't eat no pork. But then you be big and fat. I mean, how you got, how you big and you say you don't eat no pork? I ain't eat no pork. You eating something. But shoot, there ain't nothing wrong with no dang pork chops. I mean, I know people don't like pork, they don't eat pork because they get high blood pressure. But I ain't eating nothing about no pork. Ain't nothing wrong with no pork. There ain't no way. I ain't staying away from that swine. I'm like, man, please. People grew up eating pork, and then they become older and go to jail. Because, people be in jail, be that Muslim jail. And they didn't want to talk about, they wanted, I ain't eat no swine. I'm like, whatever. And ribs. I know. Ain't nothing wrong with no white meat. That's the other white meat they used to say. Ain't nothing wrong with, smothered pork chops with gravy. I used to fry pork chops and stuff, but I don't really try to fry it all the time. I like to bake it or smother it and do gravy. But there ain't nothing wrong with no dang pork chops. But you don't eat meat, fine. Then you can eat lamb chops. Lamb chops is just as good too. Ain't nothing wrong with lamb chops. Barbecue ribs. You can either eat, if you don't like pork, then you can eat beef ribs. But to not eat meat, I'm like, where you get lamb chops or such? Yeah, it can be. But you don't have to get a whole, I bought me some lamb chops when at farmer's market, the Cab Farmers Market. You could get a good number of pieces, make a good little, smothered, you ain't got to fry, you can bake it. Man, please. Ain't nothing wrong with no bacon. Man, it's fact. I think what I'm gonna do is if I don't really feel like cooking, and I go and buy me some bacon tomorrow, I might just make I may just open up a can of pork and beans and cook me some rice and either fry me some bacon and then have that for dinner tomorrow. Pork and beans and rice with bacon on the side. That's what I may make. Where? Where you know? They ain't got no good Spanish food and Caribbean food in Atlanta. You gotta find those places. I don't know about the Spanish food. I mean, the only place I knew one time was Cuban food, or the one from Brazil. But they ain't got a whole lot of places like that. You gotta find that place. I only know two things to go to. Now it's not as frequent. You talk about Mexican. Unless you talk about Mexican food, that's the only thing I know that you see. You don't see that many Cuban restaurants. There's only one place I know is a Cuban restaurant, and I don't even think they open anymore. And Caribbean food, I live in Stone Mountain, and you used to see some Caribbean restaurants, but you don't see no Cuban restaurants like that in Atlanta. You either talking about Portuguese or Mexican. I don't see I don't see no Cuban. You must be thinking about Miami because it's sure not Atlanta. He's saying, "Oh wow, oh wow," to what? The majority of Hispanic people is Mexican here in Atlanta, and then in terms of Caribbean food, there used to be a lot of Jamaican people lived in Stone Mountain, but they moved like Loganville. But you don't see a whole lot of when I do see a Jamaican restaurant, it's usually a real small hole in the wall, someplace that you may I drove one past today on Covington, driving down Covington Highway. It was like a little, and I saw a Jamaican flag, right, whatever. But you have to really drive, pass by one. No, they don't. They don't need no more people coming over here. Besides Puerto Rican and Dominican and Cuban, Cubans are going to tend to move to Florida because they already got themselves established in all forms of fashion. Dominicans, they used to live up in the west side in Harlem, and but they not really moving up to New York like that. They've been if their generations of people been moved up to New York, but they moved back to Florida. They moving all the way back to Florida. They not coming all the way to New York. Though, so they ain't gonna be coming. They ain't moving to Atlanta like that. That's what I'm trying to figure out where they're gonna move all those Afghans. They moving them all over the country, but They only gonna move in communities that already has established a people of their own people. They said they someplace. There's a certain part in California. They got a lot of Afghans moving over there. But those people from Caribbeans and stuff, they tend to move wherever they had established. But I heard little Haiti and stuff in Florida and stuff. They moving people out. So they moving people out, whether weather They gonna move wherever. I don't know. I don't know. I ain't talking about other people. I can't concern myself with other people. I have to concern about where Teresa gonna settle and live. All these other races of countries and different people and stuff, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. Anywho, I ain't gonna stay here too long because I need to go to bed. Where's everybody else at? Coldest, you've been the whole link. It's like you got about 30, 50 things of you saying stuff. DJ, Erica, Vicky, y'all say nothing. It's 7 of y'all. I got 7 thumbs up. Who is hiring case managers? I read and heard that case managers are usually coming from nonprofit organizations, and not those type of agencies, but they're not hiring people. A lot of the people who be in place with those caseworkers are run through nonprofit organizations. They may be hiring, but it's not a state or federal government hiring people to place them. Those people are looking for those nonprofit organizations are the ones who's trying to help them, and they don't have any money. They already read. I heard that on NPR radio, one of the radios when I was listening on my way to home, on my way from work one day. I was listening to something, one of those NPR, and it was most of it was like in Illinois or Midwestern countries and they Midwestern states with this nonprofit, and they will help, and they will only give them. They was only giving them like 3 months of income, monies. They ain't got no money. They ain't got no grants and give nonprofits like that. I keep telling y'all. Y'all think it's because people have a nonprofit. They don't get money from the government like that. All those policies, immigration policies and things of that nature, all that controls in terms of what can be done for helping people. There's only so many. There's only so many things that anybody could do when they come and help. Nonprofit, charitable, church organizations, when they give tithes and offerings and things like that, and they ask for money, you know, they ask for money. One is to pay for the administrative costs. It costs to operate leasing and buildings and paying people to um, operating expenses and stuff like that. All those people, Afghans people, they're not coming just here to the United States. They was placed in different areas and different countries, dropping them off at different countries and stuff. They all try to get people families. They concentrated somewhere in California. I can't remember. It's one of those smaller cities in California, but it's got a high Afghans of people that live and concentrate and live in some part. I can't remember what part of California they talk about. No, they try to help. No, they don't give them housing. They have it. This is how it works. This is what they said on the radio when they was interviewing this organization. They have people who volunteer. Say, for instance, I contacted this organization. I said, "Oh, I got a room, and anyone who needs help, they could stay with me, and they have a room. They'll give me so much money to help till these people get on their feet. So you have people who may have a open up their house to have someone live there for 2 months, whatever, and then this nonprofit organization may say, okay, we give you, you know, $3,000, and then and then they come and they you help them get settled, and and get settled or whatever the case may be, and they help them to get themselves together or whatever. No, I can't answer all that. I'm not a social worker. I'm not a nonprofit organization. They don't. It's not about who gives more money to who, or who gets help than others. There are so many different ways that people get assistance. It's not like they sending 10 million people here in the United States to do that. When they have refugees and they send people here, refugees, and they only going to accept so many people, that small number of people that's coming over here, some people already have families that may be here already, so they're going to stay with family. They're going to you know ain't about who gets help more than who. People say, oh, the government be giving them millions of dollars to do, they part of that CARES Act, when they said they was giving money to help certain groups of people, $10 million ain't a whole lot when you spreading that amongst thousands and thousands and thousands of people. You can only pay so much for rent. That's why this housing thing, with the housing increase going up and stuff, affordable housing. You can't have more people from other countries to come to say they need help housing too. You got people who live here in this country that needs a housing. This crisis ain't just blossomed because it's always immigrants or people come here. Haitian, all these people come. It's only so much they could do. You go to the welfare, you go to any social service office. When I went there and I showed that film one time, and they had all those people up in there. Everybody was looking to get food stamps. Everybody was looking for a job. Everybody, this was DeKalb County. You know, you gotta come. You gotta come through. You come here if you're a United States citizen or whatever. You come here. You got 3 kids on your hip, and you guys say I ain't got no place to go. There's only so many shelters they could put people in. Some people don't want to live in the shelter. Now I don't live in that shelter. You got to do what you got to do. Yeah, they got 10.7 million jobs, but 10.7 million jobs, that may be true, but a lot of them is working on a restaurant or low income or warehouse jobs. It's not, yeah, they got 10.7 million fast food restaurants, warehouse, wherever. Just choose any of them. Most of these jobs they have available is mostly low income, or they pay very little. The problem is that the wages has not kept up with the cost of living. That's the problem. If you get a job, I don't care, retail, whatever. How much you pay? $8.75. 8.50 an hour. Ain't no, yeah. If they got a whole lot of jobs that pays that and $10, 12, oh, you can work from home for a Lyrica. I could get a job tomorrow, and if I could sit here tomorrow morning and put out all these resumes for a work from home job, whether it be an independent contractor or working from home. They're gonna say, it's $12 an hour. I can go back to some of these previous companies I worked with, tech support for Apple. How much you paid? 13. Because people ain't trying to work for no 13, $14 an hour. And if they do, you gotta work other gigs on top of that. So they got 10.7 million jobs, but let me tell you what's gonna happen. I seen more at one point, not before this whole thing. Prior to that, I used to go to McDonald's and I used to say, well, damn, we got a whole bunch of Mexicans working at this damn McDonald's, not just a particular area where Mexicans live, but I would travel, go to different places. I said, why they got all these Mexicans working at McDonald's? Several. I go to different, whole bunch of Mexicans. I said, well, dumb. And they be related because I see one come to work, hola, da 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 da, whatever. And they all be related, all in the family. They all live in the same house. They all live in the same apartment. And they all be working at McDonald's and they be all putting their money together. I see that all the time. We be laughing about Mexicans and stuff and people living in the house. But see, they come here in this country and they take whatever job they could get, working at McDonald's, whatever. They one person working at McDonald's, next thing you know, the mother working at McDonald's, the sister, everybody be working at McDonald's. I went to one McDonald's couple, fun time. It was all of them were Hispanic. They all spoke Spanish. They know how to speak English, but they all were Mexican, working at the McDonald's. The manager was McDonald's. The manager was Mexican, the staff people, everybody. So let me tell you. So now that this benefits is ended for people, and everybody everybody gonna scramble for those same jobs, and more and more people, they're gonna go up there and work there. I wish I had Apple News. I was about to read an article about this one lady. I don't know where she was from, but somewhere she worked at some low end level job. Oh, it was Domino's. And then she worked at Domino's. She got a job and took a job at Domino's. She got promoted as assistant manager, and she was able to buy a new car and stuff because they were so desperate for people that they said, now as a worker, you got the negotiation skills to come in there and demand more money because they need workers more than they need anyone else. You could walk up in the and you could be promoted as a manager at a fast food place. And ain't that bad? It's not that bad. I think they started $12 an hour at the McDonald's. They didn't say $12 as a manager, but if you was an assistant manager or manager, you probably get paid what? You probably could ask for more money. Say, no, I need more money. Because if nobody not taking these jobs, and you come in there, okay, you got the negotiating power. Okay, I'll be a manager here. Well, how much you gonna pay? No, I think can you pay a little bit more? I'll start out at $16, $17. And they'll give it to you. I was reading the article and I was coming across it today. I didn't finish reading it, but they said people were going in these low paying jobs and actually getting paid more than what they were gonna get paid by. That's how desperate they were needing people. That McDonald's right up the street, they talk about they need someone to work from 4 to 1 in the morning. The only reason why I ain't gonna be working on no McDonald's as no manager because I don't like that people over there. But they did change that whole entire rude ass staff of people because they're not the same people that was there a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. So all these people, because I went to Publix, I didn't go to the one in Centerville Highway. I went to the one right up the street. And I normally don't go to the Publix up the street because there's, not to say that the service was bad, but one time I went over there, that girl was so damn rude. And the one I went to today, she was real nice. And she was pleasant and professional. And, even though it was like 9:30 and they were packing up stuff. And then I went in there and I asked for to get a sandwich because I didn't want to cook. So she was like, "We only got wheat bread." Oh, that's fine because that's exactly what I wanted to get, wheat. And she was so pleasant and stuff. And I said, "Are you new?" She said, "Oh, yes, I'm new." I said, "Okay, I knew it because I knew everybody who we used to work up in that Publix." And she was real pleasant and professional. And she says, "Oh, thank you. You have a great day." And it was like 9:30, 9:35. Usually they be trying to get on out of there. But she said she was new. And I knew she was new because I said, "Oh, I knew she was new because you had some previous coworkers that were rude." "Oh, I apologize for that." I said, "No, you didn't apologize." I knew the dynamics because I come in there all the time. You see whoever works there, you see the same people. Now I don't even see these people no more. I don't know if they didn't work there no more or they quit, but I knew she was new. And so they gotten a little bit better. I mean, Publix never really did have bad people, but I could tell the difference. And she was real nice. So they hiring. So people looking for a job, they'll go up there and apply and they'll get some. And Publix got some real good benefits that I heard, especially if you a younger person want to go to school, they got some real good benefits. So sometimes you can't look at certain jobs and be like, "Oh, I don't want to work in no fast food." Now, I don't want to work in no fast food restaurant because, to be honest, I've never worked at fast food. It's been almost 30 years or longer, since I worked at a fast food establishment. So, but if I wanted to go into a managerial type of role and I wanted to do that, I would do it. I would go right up to the McDonald's. I don't want up the street from my house because I don't want to go nowhere where I live. I go somewhere on the other side of town, different where I live. I don't want no neighbors or, "Teresa, you work there." I don't want no one to know that. Not because I'm ashamed, but I don't want to be too close to people that neighbors across the street and stuff. And I don't want to. I don't want to do that. I would have to work somewhere else. But if I knew it was an easy way to get in, and as a managerial role, and the numbers look good, I said, "What's the salary? How much you pay?" And it's something like say it's like somewhere in the 50s, 50,000 or something. It's a corporate McDonald's, not one of those franchises, but a franchise, or not a franchise, but a corporate. I know they pay pretty good. As a man, you may work long hours. That's the only thing, is that you work long hours. You work longer hours. Um, you probably get promoted like a district manager. So it's opportunities. So I would never sneeze on um, those type of jobs. But I haven't worked in the restaurant industry for a long time. So, my whole big bag of skill sets is business, taxes and finance and things of that nature. But I did see Bank of America was looking for relationship bankers again. So I said maybe I'll go ahead and see what avenues comes into that, you know. But I'll be going back to work soon. So anything like I don't have a job, I do, and I do make pretty good money doing these merchandising gig as an independent contractor, and then um, I could also finish taking my test to be a compliance to check companies I-9 verifications. They've been bugging me to death about get my to be recertified so I could call these businesses and check their records, and. But I said, y'all got to pay a little bit more than that in this contract for me to do it. But it's pretty good. Something I do for 30 minutes. You go to a company, you take a picture of the file cabinet, making sure they I-9 verification. But I said, y'all got to pay more than $25, $30 for me to come out here to do it. I said, now if y'all pay 50 or more, yeah, that's pretty good. But there's always options, but you have to know how to finesse it. So, because I get a lot of requests from different companies. It's not just survey.com, but it's like at least three other companies that I could work with, plus the mystery shopping for apartments, and they starting to pay pretty good too. $50 just to pretend that you want to rent an apartment, and then I go home and write the report. So I get emails all the time, virtual assignments. You call, but I just have so much to do. So, but I'm gonna do a how-to video and show y'all exactly. But there's always different things to do, and I don't want to have it oversaturated because you know there's some people they still be doing Uber Eats and Grubhub and all those food deliveries, but that's starting to get a little bit played out because I don't see how that's gonna um, last as much or to pay. I know some people do it, but every time I see people doing that, like I see someone they doing DoorDash and I'll be in Chick-fil-A and I ask them, oh, they said, oh, I just started doing it. See, the only people you see doing DoorDash, Uber Eats, they usually just started doing it. They haven't done it. They probably done it for like a year or under. So they not the ones that I see doing it that's been doing it. Like anyone I know and they've been doing it back in the day, this would have been 5 years. Let me see, 16. They would have been doing it for at least 5, 6 years. The ones who was doing it back when I was doing it then. Because even when I started doing it, there were some people who was doing not food deliveries, because food deliveries really started 16, 17, 18, 19, at least 5 years ago. DoorDash, Grubhub, Uber Eats in Atlanta, it's been at least been a little bit over 5. I ain't talking about Domino's. I'm talking about like Uber Eats and Grubhub. That's been at least 5 years, give or take maybe an extra year. But when I did it, it just came to Atlanta, and I know that's 5 years ago. It's been a little bit over about 5 years and some months. And when I come and ask some people, you know, even Instacart or Ship, and they say, "Well, I don't take no more than $6, $7 or something like that." They be saying. I said they not making money like they used to, like I was making it. When I was making it, just like when Pete Paid to Drive, he was on here a couple of days ago. He says, I'm a legend. I'm a legend when it came to these streets of doing Grubhub and these food deliveries. I was the queen of doing these food deliveries, and I was finesse. Y'all know I was finessing there, especially Grubhub. Even though I didn't tell people how to drive and how to do it, but I was making it. I was making it, and I wasn't driving all over Atlanta like a fool. Now, when I did Instacart and Ship, when I first started that first month, I was driving all over Atlanta. But, you know, I was making a good 700 with Instacart or Grubhub, not Instacart, 700, $800 a week. And then I didn't even add the other income I made. So, but see, it was different then. When I was started, it was only in, that small section, like downtown Decatur, Midtown, Buckhead, Atlanta. It wasn't all the way in Stone Mountain and all these outskirts, suburbs. It was a small area. Everybody had to go and be in that one central area and do food deliveries. And it wasn't McDonald's or Burger King and fast food. It was at these private, individual restaurants, that people go to, the wing places, the pizza parlor places and the noodle houses, and people that you were delivering was mostly white folks. I ain't gonna say white folks. Well, yeah, majority were white folks, but then there was a lot of people who had that disposable income. Friday It was like started Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Boom. People were, ordering whatever, getting food delivered, tipped. It was over $1 something a mile, almost $2 a mile to do deliveries. And it was pretty good. You didn't see no damn $4, $5 orders. The minimum $5 for DoorDash, for instance, was $5 for each delivery plus tips. You know, you already know you got $5 plus the tip. It was that you got, and everything was centered around one central area that you would go to, the Cheesecake Factory at Lenox Mall, and you would go and you would deliver within a 2-3 mile radius from any of these places and stuff. You weren't traveling from one end to another. Same thing with Instacart. You had a certain area that you go to, you know, and you delivered within that radius. And at the end of at an 8-hour day with, say, Grubhub or pick any one of them, I know I made $200, at least $200. At least 200. I made that much on an 8-hour day, if not less. You know? Now, you'd be lucky to make $100 in an hour, an 8-hour day. And I don't care which food delivery it is. I don't care what ebook somebody wrote or what some kind of masterclass somebody want to make up about how to make more money doing these gig at work of doing food deliveries. Man, they didn't know that ain't no there is no secret. There's no secret. Because the algorithm of these companies was set for you to make X amount of money. That's why when people were making these YouTube channels and stuff, their whole intentions of making a YouTube channel was to get referrals because they knew they wasn't making no money without the referrals. But I said, why would I promote the referrals? Because you're gonna bring the rates down. Anytime you got more people than there are work that's needed, and you have um, a whole bunch of drivers doing the deliveries, food deliveries. Everybody ain't gonna do it at the same time, but they knew that they could cut the rates. They knew that they could just suddenly decrease the mileage, decrease how much they pay when you have a bunch of people out there, you know. And then when they started changing the payouts, one point with Uber it was what 20%. Then they said okay 25%. Then people started doing. Then when Uber Eats came about, people say, well, I can do food delivery. Then they said it was 35%, and then they cut the rates. All across the board, regardless of what city you lived in. All that was just built up from data. All that they collected the data, all the data they collected. And from that data analytics, they could change how they pay. That's all that was. Uber is a technology company, DoorDash and all these companies, Amazon particularly. Amazon is notorious of collecting data. Even when I worked at Amazon, every time we do that scan, everything, they had these managers walking around with a tablet. All they did was looking at stats and data analytics. Oh, you scanned 10 seconds. How long it takes for you to put this package into this thing? 10 seconds, how many packages, they use you as a robot. All you are is a robot with Amazon, particularly Amazon. That's all that was. How much packages can you stow? How much packages can be done, from leave this truck to this? I mean, everything was measured. That's why they got a recycle of people who work. Well, okay, well, the manager didn't come to me about, about the 8 miscount that I did 3 weeks ago. They said the computer popped up and it showed that you made, and the computer said we have to, you got to get a written warning. It wasn't the manager that looks, is everything popped up in their computer. Boop, your name popped up in the system. You made 8 errors, so we got to write you up. It was, other than that, rather than them just being glad that they have people to work there and being on your feet for 12 hours a day and working like a dang slave, they don't care. Right now, I'm on Miss Medical leave until they review my paperwork, and then they're gonna decide whether or not I could come back. They could probably, if they say no, you can't. I'll resign. I'll resign. I'll say, okay, pay me all the hours. Make sure I get paid my $500 because I didn't work 90 days to get the $1,000. Give me half my bonus that I earned, and that's it. And I'll move on. And I'll work at I'll do with the other things I've been doing. You know, I'll go ahead and follow up on my unemployment claim because technically I was supposed to be getting unemployment for lack of work. So it ain't like I'm supposed to really be working. I'm supposed to go back to work. I'm going back to work in December the 8th. They're gonna be mailing my computer sometime in November, and I'll be set up again to do all these you know relearning, training, self training, and be like, okay, as long as you complete these training, you get paid the bonus just like they gave me last year, the $2,000 bonus, and then it'll be the same thing. Just finish it. If you finish it in 40 hours and you finish it before the couple weeks, you get the bonus. $450 bonus at the end of the tax season, and then keep on trucking on like I've been doing, and make my little schedule. I could work as many hours I want because they be, asking people to work, and I'll keep getting these gift cards they give me in addition to everything else, and that's it. You know, Shoot, I'll take on some new clients on my own, the ones who want tax help. I'll, let me know. I'll start putting the calendar, and then if y'all want me to do the taxes for y'all don't need help, fine. I'll do another class, private class on Google, and it'll be private. It won't be on YouTube. It won't be on StreamYard. Y'all just have to, send me an email, and then I'll have a calendar. And anybody choose to do their tax return themselves, and they need help, I'll just, for a little small fee, not like $100 or nothing, but I'm saying like, any donations y'all wish to contribute to the cause, because I do have to buy software. I do have to buy licensing and stuff like that. So, and because those licenses is like thousands of dollars, so that's it ain't cheap. So but I won't be doing these free offerings of classes and stuff and free information. And people be asking, I didn't get the stimulus last year, and what do I do? And that, nope. You know, I'll tell people I've done that, and I said, you know what? All these people on YouTube making up these little classes and all these little stuff. I said, shoot, and people pay for that. I'd be doing it for free, and I said, I can't be doing stuff for free now. I got my time and my information is valuable. You know, you can't go to a tax expert, CPA, and go to some tax service and ask them questions for free and thinking they'd be like, nope, they're not going to ask them questions for free. So I'm going to offer some services. I'm going to do a call sheet, because let me tell you, some people be talking, I got a letter from the IRS. I said, well, what's the letter? I don't know. Well, then you got the letter and I don't know where it is. I just know I got a letter, and they said, and they blow it away, blow it aside. And then when it really gets serious, then you're trying to find free resources that someone to answer that question for you. Ain't nobody do that for free. Ain't no one gonna do that for free. Nope, that ain't free. And then when you gotta call the IRS, I say good luck because you're gonna be on the phone for hours just to get a hold of somebody. You know, and God forbid next year they close down or whatever the case may be. I'm gonna tell y'all, Jackson Hewitt, H&R Block. I heard people they go to TurboTax. They want to charge me $500 to do a tax return, so I'm gonna do TurboTax so I could do it, so I could do it myself. And then they still don't understand. And then I said, okay, well you could use the full service because when they called me on the phone when I work at TurboTax on the chat, I could only answer two questions. That's it. Two topics. That's it. You want to do TurboTax and you download all the paperwork and someone works the return for you. That's extra money. That ain't free. That's not free. So I don't know what TurboTax going to charge people, but I mean, if you do it yourself, you could go online and try to input information. But if you have a basic stuff, you just type stuff in and that's it. But when it start getting a little bit more complicated, like you need to file your Schedule C, or you have rental income, or people have, people be trying to get people try to get free tax advice by going on YouTube and they be listening to the other gig workers. So I just give all my paperwork to the accountant. A lot of people who've been in this field in accounting and CPAs, they've been doing it for so long, for years. A lot of people are about to retire. A lot of people ain't really, an influx of people that's going to be out there to do it because they're going to be working, or some people have the same clients every year and people be moving, Well, my accountant and CPA, my mother, they in New York. I said, man, they be in New York somewhere, and then when they trying to get a hold of them, they say, well, shoot, they moved. Their phone number ain't no longer exist. They be moving. Some people, I don't do my mother's returns and taxes. She had her own tax person for years. When she lived in New York, she had this guy for years. But if he was to retire and he moved away, she would have to find somebody else, or one, she'd probably turn around and ask me. And then if that's the case, then I'll do it. But I don't do my mother's returns. She had somebody else to do it. But eventually, if somebody else, if he's not there available no more, either she gonna have to, she gonna probably come to me at that point. But not to say I don't want to do it. I don't solicit business for family members. Now it depends on certain family members. Maybe like I try to get my sister, but my sister be like, I got this person. He said he give me the hookup, and he said he could find me. He could give me more money. I was like, ain't no more money. And I said, okay. She another one. She thinking somebody make up some magic numbers. I said, my niece and nephew, they already grown. You can't claim them as a dependent, so they no more credits, child tax credits, and all those stuff. That's gone. But she swear up and down this person could get her more money than what I said, But I don't say nothing. I do not say anything. I just say, you know what? But if she gets a letter and stuff, don't come to me asking me no question. Don't ask me because I try to tell you. Because I keep telling, because the IRS don't come after you months about an issue. They have 18 months, and they have a statute of limitation of 10 years to go back on any type of thing when it comes to a tax return. So I stopped telling people. I stopped trying to educate people. I tried to tell people. I said, because a lot of y'all been doing this gig work for 5 years, 6 years. And especially, I ain't talking about the ones who do it part-time and make a little bit of money. If you made a good amount of money in this gig work jobs, and you've been claiming zero tax, you've been claiming negative profits and monies and stuff and writing off everything. You can't write that off 5 years. You know that, right? You can't write that off 5 years after that. After that, nope. That's why I ain't doing that no more. Why you think I'm not doing I ain't do Uber Eats and Grubhub. I mean, other than the fact that I got kicked off the platform because so many people get on my damn nerves. But I ain't did it for no beyond that. Because you at some point you have to show a positive income. You can't be writing things off forever. And despite what you may hear by some other people on YouTube, I'm gonna be a LLC. I'm gonna put all my, making up ebooks and all these classes and stuff. And people, I said, if you work for doing 1099 with Uber Eats and Grubhub and stuff, you can't be an LLC under all of that because you're not. That is, I don't know. Some people got duped with the PPP loans. Some people got duped by getting PPP loans, and they ain't got no payroll to pay, nobody, and they just establishing fake LLCs and businesses and getting all this PPP loan. Let me tell you, there is no statute of limitations for people to go back to check on that. They're gonna be checking. Now that these PPP loans and all these government programs and grants are over with, they're going to be auditing. Now, if I was going to look for a job for the federal government, I'll be right on their usajobs.gov, and they're going to be hiring auditors. That's what they do. I studied forensic accounting, and I could assure you they're going to be auditing. So, even me, I got that grant, but I could assure you they're going to go back. And I ain't going to say they're going to go after me because I got my ducks in order. I got all my ducks in order. So I already know. They come to me. Okay, hold on one moment. Let me get the spreadsheet. Let me show you the spreadsheet of all the income I've done when I did, Zifty and all these Grubhub, all those pay stubs and all that pay statements. I saved them in a file. I got it right there in the file, saved right up on Google Drive. So anytime anybody questioned, like when they questioned me before they gave me my little loan, that guy, he was like, well, on your tax return, it showed this 11,000 something. And, but the IRS showed a report that it don't show a report of all that income. I said, oh, because I have various income from such and such company. I started naming them all off. Because if you made $600, if you didn't make over a substantial amount of money, you won't get a Schedule K1 from Uber or Lyft. You won't necessarily get that statement from them. And it may not even show up at the IRS end until months later. So when you file income as a 1099, or if you got cash, like cash tips and stuff, you want to report all that. Especially when they was giving out these PPP and grants. So all these people who was making money, they ain't been reporting nothing, report very little, didn't pay estimated taxes. Even if you file your tax return already and you got money back, they gonna go back on those records. Because that was my very first job. That was the second job. My second job at the IRS was to reconcile estimated tax payments for people and send the letters out and calculate and say, and we were going, and I was going back a few years. It wasn't no current tax year. They was processing these letters and doing it. But I could tell you, the IRS is so behind because so many people are due to retire. So many people are retired. The system's antiquated. They've been trying to pay out this PPP loan and the grants and the advanced child tax credit. They've been so backed up between those things that everything else was put on the back burner. It ain't because you think you got away with it. It's because they just haven't got enough people to catch up. And they are going to catch up eventually. So, anywho, it's 2:04. 7 of y'all still watching. I guess this must be interesting for me to be yapping and talking. So, I'm going to put my other channel name out there, which is TPS Tax Consulting. If you go on YouTube, just look at it, just look for it, because I'm trying to figure out how to link my other channel. So go over there, find it. It's TPS Tax and Consulting, something like that. And subscribe to that channel, because I'm going to be working on my new channel. I'm still going to be on here most of the time. But if you want to know more about what I'll be doing, because I already have a Gmail account, and I'm already going to do a private group that if you people want to join, especially you don't have to be still doing Uber, but if you do Uber, Lyft, Grubhub, Instacart, other 1099 gig jobs you may find working from home or whatever, you can just come on over there, and it ain't gonna be much on there. Not now, but once I figure out more of my brand and things of that nature, then that's when I'm gonna really start working on that, because I need to start doing that for myself, for the next journey in my business, and also doing, sharing how to do these other gigs that I've been doing. Because, and like I said, it may not be a whole lot, it may not be much, but if you looking for extra money, I think it's a great thing to do without being stressed about, oh, I ain't getting no tips. Oh, I gotta drive to pick up food. Oh, how many miles I gotta drive? You know exactly where you want to go. You know exactly where to go. You know exactly what to do. And I think come next year, when I really start taking track of it, I'm gonna really show you how something, even if I do it for the last 4 months, like from now to 4 months, I say how much money I'm going to make, and say, okay, this is what I made with this, doing this gig. And you'll be surprised, because I started off slow. I started really slow when I first did it. The first year I did survey, it was like only about $1,000 and something dollars. And then when the second year came, then I made almost $5,000, and that was months. That was only small little segments I was doing at a time. I wasn't doing it as frequent like I'm doing it now. But before, it was like maybe a couple of hundred, 300 a month or something like that. But then now I realized how I was making almost 1,000 in the next 2 weeks or a week and a half. And it could have really been more if I was doing resets assignments. It's really more like it could be really like a full-time job. And if you're a frequent and you do it on a frequent basis, it really can be, it can be really lucrative. But there's some people on YouTube, they've been packaging it together as a business thing and selling it. And I was like, I'm not really trying to do all that. But there's people, I know they were doing property preservation, and they have businesses, and and things dry up. Things change, and then people do other things, and you know they go back into saying, okay, mystery shopping is the thing to do, and then they sell their information to other people, and people be buying it. And I'm like, well, dang, I knew exactly what they was talking about, but I said I'm not gonna pay how to do that. But I will share how to do it, and what it's about, until I figure out how to put this iPhone and share the screen. But like I said, I can't do live right now, but I can do videos. But I would like to show people how to do it. But there's multiple companies. There's more than there's several companies out there, but this one really was consistent with me more so than some of the other ones. But it's pretty good. But anyway, I said I wasn't going to be on here for no 3 hours, and I've been on here for 2 hours and 43 minutes. I thought I'd only been here an hour. Now I've been on here longer than I need to. And there's 7 of y'all still hanging in there. Who's still on here other than Colis, Erica, probably Dorian? I don't know who else will be on here. Let me see. DJ, Blue True, Sharky Felt, Vicky, Your Pleasure. Tomorrow's Tuesday. Well, today is already Tuesday because it's 2:10 a.m. All right. Well, I'm about to go. Y'all have a good night. So I'll let y'all know what the other channel is. Y'all could just subscribe to that channel too. And then when I start making videos on that, it'll probably be a little bit different because I'm trying to test out this camera that I had from years ago and see if I could, I don't know if this will work though. We'll see. All right. Y'all have a good night because I'm about to go to bed. I got a lot of things to do tomorrow. Y'all gonna say good night, or y'all just fell asleep and ain't nobody saying nothing? I'm gonna give y'all 1 minute. Then after that, I'm going. All right, y'all better say something because I'm counting down. I could have been on my bicycle when I was talking. I should have been on the bike. I could have probably knocked out this workout for an hour. All right, let's down the countdown. 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Happy New Year. Let me stop. All right, talk to y'all tomorrow or later tonight since it's already tomorrow. All right, y'all have a good night. See you soon.